What's going on, LHS community? Wow. Didn't expect for that to come out that way. But what's going on, LHS community? Welcome to a brand new edition of Holding Court here on the First Day Hoops Report YouTube channel. I'm, of course, First Day Hoops Report founding editor and Holding Court host, Chris Stevens. Hopefully you all are doing well out there. It's been a while since I've done an edition of Holding Court because, well, high school basketball season's over. AAU travel ball is just starting to pick up. And, well, I needed a break, just to recalibrate after 3 straight months of high school and college basketball discussion locally, getting back into the flow of things at my day job, and starting launching other things. As I've told you guys before, I have a YouTube channel that is separate from First Day Hoops Report, where I talk about music, art, sports, society, life in general. If you want to check that channel out, once again, please don't abuse the privilege. I will put the link in the description below where you can subscribe, like, and comment on all those videos over there as you do over here. Okay. So I'm not going to waste so much of anybody's time because it's a beautiful Sunday morning, which is probably why my voice sounds so damn scratchy because I didn't mean to cuss, but okay. Because I just woke up and I meant to record this yesterday, but I was cleaning my house yesterday and I still got some more house cleaning to do today before I can go out and play or whatever. But yeah, not going to waste too much of you guys' time because it's a beautiful Sunday. I'm sure people have things to do. The Phillies have an afternoon game. It's beautiful enough to throw something on the grill or go outside and just be outside and be one with nature. Be one with nature if you choose. So going to get right to the brass tacks and things here. And today, I'll just go into more detail. If you saw the First Day Hoops Report Instagram account on Friday, we gave you guys some important updates as to what the DIAA Boys Basketball Committee discussed. The big three were, of course, the shot clock, the potential for multiple divisions in boys and girls basketball, and a possible redo of the point system. I'm going to start with the point system first because I feel like that's very important. I mean, we know all about the shot clock stuff. I'll save the shot clock stuff for last. But there's a proposal on the table that would take, because if you're not familiar with the DIAA point system, it goes like this for basketball. Every win that a team gets counts for 2 points. If your opponent is at a 501 winning percentage or better, that means if a team plays 20 games, they have to finish 11-9 to get to 501. It's worth a bonus point. If a team finishes at 701, which means if they play a 20-game schedule, they have to be 15-5. That's 2 bonus points. So adding an extra bonus point to a win, honestly, I feel like it undermines the process. I mean, this is just a proposal. This isn't anything that has been approved as of yet. It's not being enacted as of yet. There's probably going to still be more conversation surrounding it. Actually, I've had the chance to talk to quite a few coaches about it. That story about these 3 subjects is going to be on the website either tomorrow or Tuesday morning, and you guys can read for yourself if you don't feel like sitting through a video. But I feel like adding an extra point to a win kind of undermines the spirit of competitive nature because there's no incentive to schedule heavy anymore if you do that. Like Salesianum, for everyone that hates Salesianum, they go out and schedule. I mean, they had Newman Goretti on the schedule. They had Archbishop Wood. They had DeMatha. And it prepared them to, get back to the state championship game where they had won it the previous year. It took a really good Dover team to beat them. And you know why? Because Salesianum was prepared. Dover just had a better game that day. So, I mean, the point is to make these kids better, which is why I'll talk more about the shot clock in a second. The point is to make the kids better, is what I feel like. And the kids are not going to get better if they're just playing teams that they can score 25, 30 points individually against. I mean, if you get that against Newman Goretti, Archbishop Wood, or if you're on the girls' side, if you're playing like Westtown or, I can't remember that other Pennsylvania school that has a really good girls team. Friends Central. Yeah, if you're a girl from Delaware that get 25 or 30 against Friends Central or Westtown, Friends Central or Westtown, and I feel like that's reserved for folks like Gigi and Taylor like that. And yeah, okay, cool. But if you're scoring, let's just call a spade a spade. If you're scoring 25 or 30 against Newark, Dickinson, McCain, or whatever, it's like, What are we supposed to glean from that? And that's no shade at those schools. I'll tell you why in a minute. But if you're going to give every team 3 points for a win, then you might as well just have an open tournament. You might that really what it boils down to, because we have 56 boys programs in this state, 55 girls programs, and I mean, it's just not enough talent spread around to be fooling around with multiple divisions. And I mean, that's really what was going to lead into it. I mean, my official opinion on the point system is it's fine as it is. And if you, I mean, there are some coaches that'll probably, feel like, okay, well, this gives my team another chance. I mean, an extra chance to make the tournament. Yeah, but at the same time, at what cost? Because if you, we'll just say a team that has the potential to be good, and they finish 18-2, and they have not played anybody, not even out of state. I'm just saying, I'm talking about in state. Like they don't have a Howard on the schedule, a Sanford on the schedule, a Dover on the schedule, a Middletown on the schedule. But they've gone 18-2 against, teams that haven't been good for some years and may not ever be good again. How does that prepare you for the state tournament? It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, not a fan of that. I mean, we'll see how that works. We'll see how that point system redo goes. As far as the divisions, totally against it. I said it on the First State Hoops Report Twitter feed, and I will say it here live so you guys can see it in my face, so you can do like a Detective Carter from Rush Hour, so you can see the words that are coming out of my mouth. No. We actually are the last state. I actually had a chance to go look this up now. We are officially the last state in these United States, lower 48 and Alaska and Hawaii, that have a common state tournament. One state champion for boys, one state champion for girls. And that's the way it should be. It makes us unique. It makes us special. It makes us different. And I know people are going to say, well, the private schools win all the time. That's not always true. I mean, granted, we have had a recent run of years where, last few years has been, Sal's on the boys' side, Tower Hill, but Dover just won. Dover's the first tried and true public school to win it since Smyrna in 2017. So, I mean, wow. And you think about it, Kent County, when you think, real quick before I, get back on track, Kent County has had 2 state champions in the last 8 years. Before Smyrna and Dover in his last 8 years won it, it had been 20 years before 20 years since, a downstate team had won the title. That was Seaford in 1997. Before that, it was Cesar Rodney in 1984. Before that, it was it was a pretty good run because Indian River went back-to-back in 80, 81. Cape went back-to-back in 75, 76. And Milford was the first downstate team to win in 1971. But yeah, I mean, downstate hasn't always had the best success, but they've been the best of the public schools in recent years. There's something to that. But yeah, Dover won this year, and no one was going to beat Ursuline or Caravel or Sanford for that matter. I mean, they have the talent. They just have the talent. I mean, and that's not a knock against anybody who played against them. I mean, because AI played a really good first half against Caravel in the semifinals. They were able to keep them in front of them. Sid Hilliard was having one of her Sid Hilliard quality games where nobody could stop her from getting to her spots and getting her shots. But Caravel just shut the water off in the second half because they had the talent to do it. So, yeah, I don't think we need multiple divisions. I'm not a fan of that because, I mean, as Chuck Durante, the esteemed president of Delaware Sports Writers and Broadcast Association, said on the Twitter machine, it would water down the tournament. And I'm absolutely in agreement with him on that. We just can't keep, throwing these solutions at. Like I said on the Instagram clip real quick, that football, it was some real nasty business in football. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, there were times when you'd go watch, a Flight B game when Howard was the top of the pops. I mean, and Howard's still a really good football team, and I expect them to be good this year. Shout out to Coach Ritter, Coach Rasan Matthews, Coach Curtis Clack, and that crew. Wildcat pride always. Class of '99. It's who I am. But yeah, you'd go see Howard play like Dickinson or McCain or somebody like that, and they're 35 and nothing before you can even go to the concession stands. Who does that help? I mean, Ritter and them will tell you it didn't help Howard. The players will probably tell you it didn't help him very much. So, Football, it was tough. And football is a sport where you literally have to look out for the physical interest of and well-being of these young men. And, you know, like you literally just can't have Salesianum, go up against like First State Military Academy. It's just not good for business. It's not. You can't have that. So, and yeah, in football, I'm a firm believer that you need at least 20 good players to have a good team. Basketball, you can get away with a elite big three as long as the other 7, 8, or 9 know their roles. That was pretty much why Ursuline won the girls this year. You had Gigi, you had Taylor, and then you had, role players like Jazz Wesley, Skylar Bolden before she got hurt. Emma Anthony, Shamir Marshall Brothers, Olivia O'Hara. Those are not names that are going to scare you, but they're still going to do the job. So basketball, all you need is like one good, group of players to come in and just surround them with the players that understand that, hey, it's not about you. But if you play your roles well, we can be really, really good. So I'm not really a fan of splitting basketball into divisions. Football was cool. Soccer, probably, yeah. Look, even field hockey, I'm kind of on because, Dover and Cape have been really, Dover, Delmar and Cape have been dynamite on the field hockey circuit the last few years, but not everybody's going to win all the time. And I'm not going to go on a rant about participation trophies because I'm not that guy. No one likes to see people, everybody, I feel like we just have to reward competitiveness. Not, just poor, I'm not talking poor sportsmanship. I'm talking about competitive nature. We need to reward competitive nature. And I'm not saying that, multiple divisions in basketball won't be competitive, but it just won't be the same. It won't be the same. And you can't just keep throwing, these solutions at problems that are of a bigger nature. You can't, just to put it like this, you can't put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. That's the bottom line. And the bullet wound, honestly, is the fact that so many of these legislators just stopped caring about public education. I've said that countless times on this channel, and I will repeat that statement until I am blue in the face. And as I've said before, as you can see, that's not going to happen. So my problem is, we've seen a lot of demarcation, a lot of lines in the sand when it comes to competitiveness, when it comes to sports, because a lot of these private schools get the best athletes. The charter schools get some of the better athletes. Even the Votechs. I'm not going to, sit here and say that Newcastle County Votech hasn't benefited from choice and selection, because obviously that's true. But I think if the state had incentivized public education, we wouldn't have this problem. You'd still be able to have a good football team in Glasgow. You'd still be able to have a good basketball team in Newark. You'd still be able to have competitive baseball teams at Concord and Brandywine. You'd still have great volleyball teams at Christiana or, William Penn or what have you. Penn's doing a good job anyway, staying competitive, because William Penn is still a great school to go to. But it just doesn't make sense to, keep watering stuff down because no one wants to address the real elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is that Delaware stopped caring about public education when people started throwing money to create charter schools and all of that. And I can't say too much for faith-based institutions because, that your religious leanings are your religious leanings. Who you serve in the spiritual realm is who you serve. I'm not going to judge anybody for that. But, granted, you can't just sit here and say that public schools haven't suffered because of everything that's going on, with the rise of charter schools, with the rise of vocational schools, with the, the ongoing success of faith-based institutions. Because you can't get mad at, Salesianum, St. Mark's, and so on, and Ursuline and Padua, because they've been good for generations. Ursuline was the first ever back-to-back winner of state championships for girls basketball, and that was in 1974 and 1975. So You can't just say, oh, wow, Ursuline got good all of a sudden. Oh, wow, St. Mark's got good all of a sudden. Oh, wow. Nope. Those schools, I mean, you could probably make, and you can't even make that argument for Sanford because Sanford's first girls championship was in 1986. And I'm actually working on a story about that, so stay tuned. But yeah, I mean, so Stanford's been good for 40 years almost. In at least a couple of generations. So, I mean, yeah, you could be mad that they get the better kids, but there's been a precedent set for them. There hasn't been a precedent set for a few of these charters or even for a few of the public schools, honestly. But at the same time, no one wants to address the real problem is that, when public education, when we live in a world where a person can just throw $5 million at Ursuline to build a new gym, or can donate 10, 15 million for Salesianum to have a new baseball field. And I literally live on the same block as Salesianum. When I go for my walk later on tonight, I'm gonna walk past Salesianum's campus, and I'm gonna see that the baseball field is ripped up because they're already putting a new baseball field in place for the 2025 season. And I mean, we live in that world where those schools can get donations, but we've seen Red Clay, we've seen Brandywine, and we've seen Colonial, and we're going to see Appo go in front of these boards, in front of these residents and beg for money. And my issue is with the residents of these districts too, because a lot of the key point is a lot of these residents of these districts, they don't put their kids in these schools. These are kids that go to charters. These are kids that go to privates. These are kids that go to Votex. So they're not invested in the well-being of the schools in the communities which they live in. Which is why I literally thought that we were not going to have basketball for the Christina School District that one year when they had to have a referendum that's not just save sports, but save second language and immersion courses. It's like, why are we, monetizing education? That's the problem. Too much of everything is about money. And if we're treating kids like commodities and products, then we're doing them a grave disservice. And that'll always be the hill that I will die on because it just doesn't make any sense. So that is the long-winded answer of why I don't like the potential for divisions in basketball. And to tie into that, we'll go into the shot clock. The shot clock was officially put to a vote. It went 5-2-1 in favor of adding it. That was the boys. That was the boys' committee. The girls' committee still has to meet on it. If the girls' committee approves on it, then it goes to the DIAA board. So we still have some steps to take, but we are at least taking the steps towards a shot clock. And yes, the shot clock is another thing that brings about the thought of cost because you probably have to update your scoreboard. You have to probably pay somebody to run it. Doug Thompson, the DIAA board chair, had an interesting solution, is that you can do it through smart TVs, apparently, that you can use the Wi-Fi and all of that to, put the TVs in the corner and just, have that thing count down from, I guess it will be 24 seconds. And as I said on the Instagram post, I'm interested to see how that goes because I have a Roku. God, I love my Roku. My Roku is so good that I'm actually going to call Comcast and say, look, I don't need all this stuff. Take it away. I can watch any sporting event that I want as long as I have the app for it to put it on the Roku. Because that's all I watch anyway. I mean, while I do watch a lot of music stuff, I watch TV One's Unsung, I watch a few other things, but yeah. Smart TVs are the way. And if we can get smart TVs that are markedly less expensive than whole shot clocks, and it actually works, why not? And for the basketball component, it's just time because these kids are the kids that are good, the kids that are going to play in college. They need to have that experience because there are so many kids from Delaware that get to the college level, they see a shot clock and they get shell shocked. And that's not the way it should be. I mean, even Maryland has a shot clock, and Maryland has some districts that are in further dire straits than even ours. I mean, we're talking about Baltimore City, some spots in PG County. I mean, the Eastern Shore is not exactly a paragon of wealth, but the state of Maryland has shot clocks. So there has to be a way that we can find the funding. I'll never forget one person that I talked to who mentioned that certain states and cities have athletic budgets for schools. We need that. We need an athletic budget for schools so we can count for these things. Because the question I have for y'all is, those of you who are against the shot clock in basketball, have you ever seen a football game without a play clock? Just want to put that out there. But yeah, these are all still temporary proposals. Nothing has been concrete as of yet. It feels like the shot clock is the thing that's going to be the one that actually passes through. It really depends on how the girls meeting goes, because I imagine they'll meet and discuss these very same topics, since the boys broached it first. But because you have to have equality. I mean, it's Title IX, because if the boys are going to approve a shot clock, then it's likely that the girls will as well. And if the girls don't, then we won't have a shot clock. And that's the same for the point system, and that's the same for the divisions. So we will see how that works. But thank y'all for watching this in the latest edition of Holding Court. Really appreciate y'all's time. I may do a WNBA draft live stream Monday, which is, of course, tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I may do that on this channel. I may do it on my channel. I'm not sure yet. But all the information, get in contact with us at First State Hoops Report. If you have any news information, if you have any things that you want us to explore, if you have anything you want us to discuss on this show, all that contact information will be in the description below. So thank y'all for watching. As always, until we see each other in these gyms, take care of yourselves and each other.